Very welcome back to the show. Hair loss is a problem for lots of Irish women, and in studio now we have an expert who has over 20 years experience in treating hair and scalp problems. Deborah Whelan, you're very welcome to the show. You're a trichologist. What is a trichologist?
A trichologist is someone who is an expert in the health of the hair and scalp. We treat hair loss, scalp diseases, alopecia in clinic. We do provide prescription treatments which are higher strength than you can usually get access to. And we tend to be very specialised, as in we study for several years specifically in hair and scalp problems.
Great. Let's take a look at the different types of hair and scalp problems, I suppose specifically in women as well, but I mean both sexes obviously. Hormone-related hair loss, would that happen at different times of your life, or is it more prone after the menopause?
It's very common after the menopause. It can be experienced by men and women from all ages. Genetics play a big part. Very, very important, obviously, in many factors for women over 40 would be the natural changes in hormone levels, which can mean that the naturally present testosterone has an impact in increasing the presence of shorter, finer hairs. So it doesn't involve shedding. It's a change in the type of hair that grows on the top of the scalp. It's usually slow. It's not sudden. You wouldn't normally see a lot of hair in the shower or the sink.
And the fact that it's visual then as well causes other problems as well with confidence and stuff like that, because people can see it.
Absolutely, absolutely. It can be extremely distressing. But help is out there. It obviously would affect people's confidence very significantly.
Especially in a woman. It's not that we expect men to lose their hair, but it's very acceptable.
Yeah,
and it's
it is,
almost like normal as people get older.
You wouldn't really take much notice of it.
No, you wouldn't.
Most men wouldn't take much notice of it, but I think women would, though.
Yeah, we would. Yeah. Let's take a look at some shots that we have here, and Deborah, you can talk us through them, the different female pattern baldness. Let's take a look at our first photo here, and you can tell us what this is. This seems like an awful lot of hair loss at the top.
Yes, this would be advanced stages of female pattern hair loss. It won't actually cause hair loss at the sides or the back of the scalp, and it would take many years to develop into this significant increase in the visibility of the scalp.
How common would this be? Would this type of case be?
Pretty common. About 40% of women over the age of 40 will experience some hair loss, and 50% of women over the age of 50 will experience female pattern hair loss.
Right. When you talk about, we often hear the word alopecia.
Yes.
Is that an umbrella term?
Absolutely. Most people who are diagnosed with having alopecia wouldn't actually see significant bald areas or total hair loss. It's often a decrease in density, in volume of the hair, which can be a result of certain medications. In this particular image, we have the circular patches of alopecia areata. The hair is actually growing back from the centre of the patch. You can see terminal hairs replacing the smaller hairs around the edges. It often can grow back on its own. Sometimes it needs help.
And what about women who, when you're pregnant or afterwards, you often experience a little bit of hair loss? Is that hormone related as well?
Most of the time. Obviously, a lot of women will suffer from this. It's a very unfortunate type of hair loss. You can lose up to 2/3 of the hair from it.
That's a big amount.
Unbelievable,
It's a lot.
It absolutely is. This would be usually 2 to 3 months after the birth of the baby.
Because the vitamins, I suppose, are being depleted in your body. The child is taking a lot of your nutrients.
The body will look after the baby naturally enough. And if you are already in any way nutritionally deficient, it will exacerbate the problem.
Okay, we have one final pic here, I think. Can we see that, James?
There you have it.
That's chemical reaction, isn't it?
That is, yes. That's scarring or cicatricial alopecia, which is a permanent form of hair loss.
That's after a bad hair at the hairstylist or something like that. That actually,
it would be very uncommon
for someone
to experience this level of hair loss when they are having their hair coloured. But
what would you do if somebody like this came into your clinic?
Well, there are different forms of scarring alopecia. Some result from inflammation and from scalp diseases, scaling, sores being picked. Obviously, you can have the chemical damage, but you can also have the body attacking itself.
Like an autoimmune?
Autoimmune disorders, absolutely, yes.
Okay. Joseph and Tipperary got in contact with us, Deborah, and the question is, what foods help with hair loss at middle age, especially on the parting, and do some products cause the problem?
Some products can cause contact dermatitis, but as for foods, the most important thing is to realise that the hair is almost completely formed from protein. It's very important, say, to include protein in
your
the
diet.
breakfast, and ideally a little bit with each of the meals. Zinc is very important. The hair cells are the second fastest growing part of the body, so it's very important to ensure that your energy levels are kept quite stable. And you know that you don't go more than 4 hours without having your carbs and your protein with fruit or veg, ideally.
So if you have a diet that's depleted in nutrients, you will see this in your hair. You will see that a lackluster, number one, and can lead to hair loss.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Deficiencies, there are lots of different deficiencies that can cause poor quality hair, poor growth and shedding.
Okay. Can you ask the trichologist, can I do anything to grow back the front and top of my hair quicker following chemo? The back of my hair has grown back faster and thicker than the front.
Some people can take treatments for 5 to 10 years after the chemotherapy. Most people who have been treated with chemotherapy drugs will respond with usually full hair growth in the months afterwards. But for some people, you know, you do need a lot of patience, and you do need to make sure that you look after your immune system, which will be very important in helping the regrowth.
We have another one here from Mary from Arklow. My daughter suffers from bald patches. She has done since she was 7. She's now 21 and quite often gets these bald patches. Please advise.
This quite probably or possibly would be alopecia areata, which is, again, the immune system attacking its own body, and it pushes the hair out prematurely in a circular fashion. Sometimes, most of the time actually, it would recover itself. You can find trichologists will be able to advise whether the condition is active and how extensive the hair loss is going to get.
You need to see somebody like yourself to actually know exactly what's going on.
You would, yes. There aren't many trichologists. I'm based in Galway and Dublin, but you would need to actually attend a clinic to get a diagnosis and discuss the treatments that can be used at home.
And everyone's different, it's individual.
Absolutely.
But we talked about nutrients just there, and the products we have with us today are Vivscal, an Irish company actually based in Galway. And you've got supplements, you've got shampoo, conditioner, you've got serums, and you've got like hair fibres. But I guess the basis really is, when you think about it, what you put into your body from the inside out. And it contains the nutrients like zinc that you talked about there. What else do they contain?
It would contain substances that usually do cause the deficiencies. It would contain, very importantly, biotin, which is essential for the formation of energy to help the hair to grow. It has a protein, the amino-acid protein, which
is the marine protein, is it?
This is the special ingredient, which was discovered 25 years ago. Yes, absolutely.
And it's all natural stuff inside these as well.
They are natural products.
All natural, yeah.
They are,
great.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Can I ask you just on that? I mean, the reality is, when you take a supplement, you'd need to take them for a number of months before you'd see it in your hair, wouldn't you?
You would. With any treatment, you would expect to see clearly visible regrowth approximately 3-4 months, maybe 5 months afterwards. So ideally, you would use all treatments for at least 6 months.
Great. Okay, let's take a look at some before and after shots after using Viviscal for a number of months. We're looking at 3 to 6 months here. We see here a very thinning in the first, and then you see afterwards, so that they can show these results after a number of months. We should say this is not an overnight.
There's a big difference there, and a big difference here as well, isn't there?
This type of thinning hair is, I think, what a lot of women complain about as they get older, that the hair is less lustrous and less thick, and it's just baby hair almost.
Well, the lady's hair was coloured also, so she could have had some breakage. But yes, as we get older, the hairs do diminish in width and length. Nutritional supplements, again, can help to counteract this. Viviscal would be one thing that would be quite popular to encourage longer, wider, healthier hair.
Now, we had Trish and Karen in here last month as well,
and Viviscal voices.
They're probably 6 months into this process now. We're going to meet.
They will be in April.
There will be next month.
Yeah.
So how are they getting on at the moment?
They're actually getting on very, very well. They came in to see me. They had a consultation to assess the regrowth, and they're very, very happy with the results. There was clearly visible growth.
Looking forward to catching up with the two ladies next month.
They're going to be back actually next month.
Back on the show.
Thanks very much for coming in.
Thank
And
you.
as we said, you've got clinics in Dublin and Galway. You can find her online. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
Now, for more information on all of that, you can go to viviscal.ie.